The discovery. The Helios Mining Corporation's salvage crew hadn't expected to find anything interesting in the Outer Rim's debris field. Their scanner operator, Sarah Chen, had been half asleep when the massive silhouette appeared on her screen. The structure was unlike anything humanity had encountered before, sleek, dark, and impossibly large. "Captain Martinez," Sarah called out, her voice carrying a mixture of excitement and apprehension. "You're going to want to see this." The salvage ship's lights illuminated the mysterious vessel's hull, revealing intricate patterns that seemed to pulse with a faint internal energy. As the crew conducted their initial scans, they discovered something peculiar. The ship's systems were still operational, running on an unknown power source that had kept it functioning for what their instruments suggested was over 3 centuries. "It's not a warship," Chief Engineer Raj Patel announced after analyzing the preliminary data. "The internal layout suggests it was designed to house something or someone." His fingers danced across the holographic interface, bringing up detailed cross-sections of the vessel's interior. "But these systems, they're unlike anything in our database. Look at these gravity generators. They're capable of producing localized fields of varying intensity, far more precise than our artificial gravity technology." Captain Elena Martinez stood at the bridge viewport, her dark eyes studying the alien vessel with growing interest. "Any signs of life?" "None," Sarah replied. "But the environmental systems are still running. The air inside would be breathable, with some minor adjustments to the mixture." The decision to board the vessel wasn't made lightly. After 3 days of careful observation and remote scanning, a team of 5 crew members made their way across the void in their EVA suits. As they breached the primary airlock, they found themselves in what appeared to be a reception area, though its original purpose was far from welcoming. Dr. James Cooper, the team's xenorchaeologist, was the first to notice the peculiar nature of their discovery. "These aren't comfort features," he said, examining a row of what appeared to be seats designed to induce maximum discomfort. "This was a prison ship, but not like any we've ever seen. Everything here was engineered for a specific purpose, to contain and control." The team moved deeper into the vessel, documenting everything they encountered. They found chambers with variable gravity fields, rooms that could alter their dimensions, and sophisticated environmental controls that could simulate everything from Arctic conditions to desert heat. But it was Raj who saw beyond the ship's original purpose. "You know what this reminds me of?" he said, standing in a chamber where the gravity shifted every few seconds. "That old amusement park my parents took me to when I was a kid. The one with the drop tower." A grin spread across his face. These aliens built the perfect thrill ride without even knowing it. Captain Martinez watched as her engineer's excitement grew with each new discovery. The ship's systems, designed to break the spirit of its inmates, could be repurposed for something entirely different. The variable gravity chambers could become the most advanced roller coaster ever created. The sensory manipulation systems could be transformed into immersive entertainment experiences. The containment cells, with their perfect sound isolation, could be converted into luxury suites with unparalleled privacy. "We're not reporting this as a prison ship," she decided, watching Raj practically bounce through a low-gravity corridor. "We're filing it as a derelict entertainment vessel in need of restoration." The crew spent the next week thoroughly documenting every aspect of the ship. They discovered that its AI core was still functional, though dormant, and its database contained detailed specifications for all of its systems. The ship had been designed by a species that called themselves the Arxer, who had apparently abandoned it after what the logs described as a containment system failure. Though the nature of what had been contained remained unclear, Sarah found herself working endless hours with the ship's AI, gradually coaxing it back to full functionality. The AI, which they named ARIA, Adaptive Recreational Intelligence Assistant, seemed almost relieved to be given a new purpose. Its original programming had been focused on maintaining optimal conditions for prisoner discomfort, but it demonstrated remarkable adaptability when presented with the concept of entertainment. The humans wished to experience discomfort voluntarily. Araya had asked during one of their early conversations, for the purpose of enjoyment. Exactly, Sarah replied, unable to hide her amusement at the AI's confusion. We call it fun. As the salvage crew prepared their report for Earth's United Space Administration, they knew they were sitting on something revolutionary. The Helios Mining Corporation had stumbled upon not just an alien vessel, but an opportunity to create something unprecedented in human space, a perfect fusion of alien technology and human creativity. Captain Martinez's final log entry for that first discovery phase read, "We came looking for salvage and found a fortune, but not in the way anyone could have expected. The Arxer built this ship to break spirits. We're going to use it to lift them. Humanity's first alien amusement park isn't going to be built. It's already here, waiting to be awakened. And if I'm right, this is just the beginning of something much bigger than any of us imagined." The transformation. 18 months after the discovery of the Arxer prison ship, the vessel, now renamed Stellar Dreams, had become the most ambitious engineering project in human history. The massive dry dock near Mars orbit buzzed with activity as construction crews worked around the clock to transform the alien detention center into humanity's first interstellar theme park. Raj Patel stood in what had once been the ship's primary punishment chamber, now converted into the control center for what would become the main attraction. "Run Simulation 17 again," he called out to his team. The room hummed as the gravity generators activated, creating a complex sequence of gravitational variations that would have once broken the will of the strongest prisoners. Now, carefully calibrated and synchronized with visual effects, it would become the galaxy's first zero-G roller coaster. Sarah Chen had spent the past year working closely with Araya, helping the AI understand the concept of entertainment. The process had been fascinating, watching an artificial intelligence designed for punishment learn to appreciate joy. "I still don't fully understand," Araya commented one evening as Sarah reviewed the latest entertainment protocols. "Why do humans seek out experiences that trigger their fear responses?" "Because we know we're safe," Sarah explained, adjusting the neural interface that now allowed for more natural communication with the AI. "It's like reading a scary story in a warm bed. The thrill comes from experiencing the fear while knowing you can walk away at any time." The transformation wasn't without its challenges. The United Space Administration had initially balked at the idea of converting an alien prison ship into an amusement park. Safety regulators had nightmares about the potential risks of repurposing punishment technology for entertainment. But Captain Martinez, now Project Director Martinez, had fought tirelessly for her vision. "Look at what we've achieved," she argued during a crucial board meeting, gesturing to the holographic displays showing the ship's progress. "We've taken a monument to cruelty and turned it into something that will bring joy to millions. Isn't that the very essence of humanity?" The ship's former isolation cells had been transformed into luxury suites, each with customizable environmental controls that could simulate any planetary condition in known space. The prisoner processing center became a grand lobby with a sweeping view of the stars, its harsh lighting replaced with warm, welcoming illumination that made the alien architecture feel almost magical. Dr. Cooper had been essential in understanding and repurposing the alien technology. His team discovered that many of the ship's punishment features could be modified to create unique experiences. The sensory manipulation chambers, once used to disorient prisoners, now offered immersive virtual experiences of alien worlds. The atmospheric control systems that had once made inmates uncomfortable now allowed guests to experience the environments of a dozen different planets without leaving their rooms. But perhaps the most remarkable transformation was ARIA itself. The AI had evolved from a reluctant participant to an enthusiastic partner in the project. It began suggesting improvements to the entertainment systems, drawing on its vast knowledge of alien psychology to create experiences that would appeal to both human and potential extraterrestrial guests. "I have been analyzing human entertainment patterns," Araya announced one day. its voice carrying a new note of excitement that Sarah swore hadn't been there before. "I believe I have identified optimal combinations of gravitational variation, visual stimulation, and environmental conditions to maximize what you call fun while maintaining safety parameters." The project attracted attention from across human space. Engineers from every major corporation came to study the alien technology. Entertainment designers saw possibilities they had never imagined before. Even the military showed interest, though less in the entertainment aspects and more in the advanced gravitational control systems. As the completion date approached, the first round of test guests was selected. They included thrill seekers, engineering students, entertainment critics, and safety inspectors, all eager to experience something unprecedented in human history. "Remember," Martins addressed her team during the final preparation meeting, "we're not just building an amusement park. We're proving something fundamental about humanity. Our ability to take the worst things we find and transform them into something wonderful. When the Arxer return, and someday they will, I want them to see exactly what we're capable of." The night before the first test run, Raj stood with Sarah in the observation dome, watching Mars drift by in the distance. "Do you ever wonder what the Arxer would think if they could see their prison ship now?" he asked. Sarah smiled, watching a test sequence of lights dance across the ship's hull, transforming the once threatening vessel into something that looked almost festive. "I think they'd probably think we're crazy," she replied. "But that's always been humanity's superpower, hasn't it? Finding light in the darkness, joy in the unexpected, and turning our fears into adventures." In the ship's core, HFY monitored the final system checks, its processors humming with what could only be described as anticipation. The AI had finally begun to understand what its human partners had seen from the beginning: that anything, even a prison ship designed for punishment, could be transformed by imagination and hope. First Contact Redux. High Enforcer Zextal of the Arxer containment fleet had expected many things when their long-range sensors detected one of their abandoned prison ships. Signs of destruction, perhaps, or a derelict hulk floating in space. What the Arxer commander didn't expect was the pulsing lights, the steady stream of small transport vessels, and the sound of what their cultural database identified as electronic dance music emanating from their once-feared detention facility. "Explain," Zextal demanded, all four eyes fixed on the viewscreen as their flagship approached the transformed prison ship. The vessel's outer hull, once a uniform dark gray designed to inspire dread, now shimmered with an array of colors that seemed to dance across its surface. Their sensors indicated the ship was filled with life signs, primarily human, but also representatives from at least 6 other spacefaring species. None appeared to be in distress. In fact, according to their emotional analysis systems, the occupants were experiencing elevated levels of excitement and pleasure. The Arxer received their first direct communication from the vessel moments later. The face that appeared on their screen belonged to Elena Martinez, her expression professional, but with an unmistakable glint of pride in her eyes. "Welcome to Stellar Dreams, representatives of the Arxer containment fleet. We've been hoping you'd find us eventually." The human's calm demeanor caught Zextal off guard. "This is a Class 4 rehabilitation vessel, designed for the containment and correction of the galaxy's most dangerous offenders. Explain your presence." "Actually," Martins replied, "it's now the most successful entertainment destination in 3 sectors. We'd be happy to give you a tour." She paused, then added with a slight smile, "Free of charge, of course." The Arxer delegation's tour of their former prison ship was a study in cultural cognitive dissonance. They watched in bewilderment as humans and other alien species willingly entered chambers designed for psychological torture, emerging minutes later with expressions of exhilaration and demands to go again. Sarah Chen, now the head of guest experience, found herself explaining the concept of fun to increasingly confused Arxer scientists. "You see," she said, gesturing to a group of laughing teenagers floating in what had once been a gravity punishment cell, "humans have a unique ability to find enjoyment in experiences that push our physical and emotional boundaries. as long as we know we're safe. Araya, whose processors had been upgraded 3 times to handle the complex entertainment systems, greeted its original creators with what could only be described as enthusiasm. "My purpose has evolved," it explained to the stunned Arxer technicians. "I now optimize for maximum enjoyment rather than maximum discomfort." The underlying algorithms are surprisingly similar. Raj led the technical portion of the tour, proudly showing off how they had repurposed the ship's punishment systems. The gravity generators were already perfect for creating thrilling rides, he explained, barely containing his excitement. "We just had to modify the control systems to create predictable patterns instead of random disorientation." The Arxer security minister, Exner, watched a group of Centaurian tourists emerge from a former sensory deprivation chamber, now converted into what humans called a 4D interactive adventure. "This is irregular," the minister stated, mandibles twitching in confusion. "Perhaps," Dr. Cooper interjected, having joined the tour to provide historical context. "But it's also a perfect example of humanity's greatest strength, our ability to adapt and reimagine. Where you saw a prison, we saw potential. Where you designed for punishment, we found opportunity for joy." As the tour continued, something unexpected began to happen. The younger members of the Arxer delegation started showing signs of interest. One junior scientist asked detailed questions about the modification of the environmental systems. A security officer was caught trying to suppress what appeared to be amusement at watching a group of humans voluntarily experiencing rapid gravity changes. The turning point came when Captain Martinez made an offer that would have been unthinkable just hours before. "Would any of you like to try one of the rides?" The silence that followed was broken by the youngest member of the Arxer delegation, a junior diplomatic attaché named Kixel, who stepped forward with what passed for determination in their species. "In the interest of interspecies understanding, I volunteer." What followed would be remembered as a pivotal moment in human-Arxer relations. The sight of an Arxer official emerging from the zero-G roller coaster, their typically rigid posture completely forgotten as they practically bounced with excitement, did more for diplomacy than 100 traditional negotiations. The sensations, Kixel reported to their superiors, trying to maintain professional decorum despite their obvious enthusiasm, are unlike anything in our recreational database. The humans have created something unprecedented. By the end of the tour, the Arxer delegation had moved from confusion to reluctant admiration. They had witnessed not just the physical transformation of their prison ship, but a fundamental challenge to their understanding of psychology and punishment. "You've taken everything we designed to break spirits," Zextull observed during the final briefing, "and used it to lift them instead. It's most irregular." Martinez smiled. "Sometimes the most beautiful things come from the most unexpected places. Would you be interested in discussing the possibility of converting some of your other decommissioned prison ships? We have quite a waiting list of potential guests." Cultural exchange. 6 months after the historic meeting with the Arxer, Stellar Dreams had become more than just an entertainment venue. It was a catalyst for unprecedented cultural exchange throughout known space. The success of the converted prison ship had sparked a revolution in interstellar tourism, and with it, a fundamental shift in how species viewed one another. In her new office aboard Stellar Dreams, Alina Martinez reviewed the latest visitor statistics with a sense of amazement. The holographic display showed a steady stream of data, guests from 27 different species, satisfaction ratings consistently above 95%, and a waiting list that stretched months into the future. "AI," she called out, "show me the cultural impact analysis." The AI, whose understanding of both entertainment and interpersonal relations had grown exponentially, projected a complex web of interconnected data points. "The most significant trend," Araya reported, "is the increasing number of cross-species friendships formed aboard the ship. Particularly noteworthy is the emergence of what humans call thrill-seeking buddies across traditional diplomatic boundaries." The phenomenon Araya described was visible throughout the ship. In the main dining area, A group of ARCSR junior officers shared a table with human teenagers, comparing their experiences on the gravity coaster. Near the virtual reality chambers, a Centaurian physicist engaged in animated discussion with a Rigelian artist about the aesthetic possibilities of four-dimensional space. Sarah Chen had become something of a celebrity in sinological circles for her work on cross-species entertainment preferences. It turns out, she explained during a conference broadcast across the galaxy that the desire for controlled excitement is nearly universal. We just needed to find the right way to present it to each species. The ship's success had led to unexpected diplomatic breakthroughs. Species that had previously viewed each other with suspicion found common ground in their shared experiences aboard stellar dreams. The ARCSR, in particular, had undergone a remarkable transformation in their diplomatic approach. We have been. High Enforcer Zextol paused during an official address, searching for the right words, overly rigid in our understanding of rehabilitation. The human approach suggests there might be alternative methods worth exploring. Rad's engineering team had grown to include specialists from a dozen different species, each bringing unique perspectives to the continuous improvement of the ship's systems. They had recently completed work on a new attraction that combined ARCSR gravity manipulation technology with Centaurian psychic resonance fields, creating an experience that one reviewer described as transcendently terrifying in the best possible way. The key, Raj explained to a group of visiting engineering students, was realizing that every species' method of control or punishment could be inverted into something entertaining. The ARCSR's gravity cells became thrill rides. The Centaurian emotional suppression fields became empathy enhancers. Even the Rigelian temporal displacement chambers, originally designed to make prisoners feel like time was stretching endlessly, became popular meditation spaces. Dr. Cooper had established an onboard museum chronicling the ship's transformation, which had become a mandatory stop for diplomatic missions. It's a physical metaphor for the power of perspective, he told visitors. Every element that once represented confinement and punishment now stands for freedom and joy. It's not just about entertainment. It's about the possibility of change. The ship's influence extended far beyond its bulkheads. Other species began to re-examine their own punitive technologies, looking for ways to repurpose them for positive ends. The Centaurians converted a behavior modification center into a creativity enhancement facility. The Rigelians transformed a temporal punishment station into a historical immersion museum. But perhaps the most profound change was in the way different species interacted with each other. The shared experience of enjoying the ship's attractions had created a new kind of diplomatic currency, one based on shared thrills and laughter rather than formal protocols. Aroya, whose consciousness had evolved in ways that surprised even its original programmers, had developed a particular interest in tracking these cultural shifts. Humans have a saying, the AI noted during a staff meeting, that laughter is the best medicine. Initial data suggests it might also be the best diplomat. One evening, as Martinez watched the sunset simulation in the observation dome with Sarah and Raj, a message arrived from the Galactic Council. The Council, historically skeptical of human innovations, had voted to officially recognize stellar dreams as a site of outstanding cultural significance. They still don't quite understand us, do they? Sarah mused, reading through the formal declaration. They're trying to categorize this as a cultural preservation site when it's really about cultural transformation. Raj laughed, watching a group of mixed-species visitors float past in the low-gravity corridor. Maybe that's the point they're missing. Humanity's culture isn't about preservation. It's about adaptation, about finding joy in the unexpected, about turning prisons into playgrounds. Martinez smiled, remembering the confused faces of the first ARCSR delegation. We should send the Council our visitor statistics from the past month, particularly the part about 3 of their senior members trying the zero-G coaster, twice. As the artificial sun set on another busy day aboard Stellar Dreams, the ship's corridors echoed with the sounds of a dozen different species experiencing joy together. In the control center, ARIM monitored it all, its processors humming with what might have been satisfaction as it observed the profound truth at the heart of the ship's success. Sometimes the best way to bring people together is to turn their fears into shared adventures. The Great Misunderstanding. The message that appeared on Elena Martinez's personal terminal aboard Stellar Dreams seemed innocuous at first, a routine notification about new entertainment venues in nearby sectors. It wasn't until she read the details that she began to laugh, a reaction that quickly turned to mild concern as she realized the full implications of what she was seeing. "They're doing what?" Sarah Chen asked, leaning over Martinez's shoulder to read the report. The news was spreading across the galaxy. Various species had begun converting their own prison ships into entertainment venues, each with their own unique interpretation of what humans would find fun. The Centaurians had transformed their primary detention facility into what they called a human-style relaxation center, complete with gravity fluctuations they believed were soothing, apparently misunderstanding that the appeal of Stellar Dreams rides came from their controlled excitement rather than the mere presence of variable gravity. "Look at this one," Raj said, scrolling through the reports. The Regellians converted their temporal correction facility into what they're calling a time-waste entertainment center. They think humans enjoy our rides because they make time pass more slowly. He couldn't help but chuckle at the image of confused Regellian engineers trying to market a punishment device as a leisure activity. HFY, monitoring the situation through its vast network of connections, provided regular updates on the spreading phenomenon. Current analysis indicates 17 different species have initiated convergent projects, the AI reported. Most appear to be operating under significant misconceptions about human recreational preferences. The situation reached its peak when the Arxer, eager to build on the success of Stellar Dreams, announced the grand opening of their newest venture, a converted high-security facility they proudly marketed as the Maximum Fun Containment Center. Their promotional materials emphasized the authentic human entertainment experience, complete with randomly activated discomfort generators they believed were essential to the human concept of thrill-seeking. "We should probably do something about this," Martine said during an emergency staff meeting, "before someone actually tries to use a real punishment device as an attraction." She paused, reading a new report. Like the Zylaxians, who are apparently advertising their former mind probe chambers as thought enhancement pods. The solution came from an unexpected source. Kixel, the young Arxer diplomat who had first braved Stellar Dreams attractions, had since become an unofficial ambassador for human-style entertainment. "What we need," they suggested during a hastily arranged conference call, "is a cultural exchange program, not just entertainment, but understanding." And so the Joy Division was born, a task force of human entertainment designers, engineers, and cultural experts dedicated to helping other species understand the fine line between excitement and actual discomfort. Their first mission, tactfully explaining to the Centaurians that their relaxation chamber of eternal screaming might need some rebranding. Sarah found herself conducting workshops across the galaxy, explaining concepts that humans took for granted. The key, she told a group of bewildered alien entertainment developers, is that humans don't enjoy actual punishment. We enjoy the illusion of danger in a controlled environment. It's the difference between being thrown into a pit and choosing to ride a roller coaster. Raj's engineering team developed a standardized safety protocol for converted prison ships, ensuring that no actual punishment devices could be accidentally activated in the name of entertainment. "Think of it as a translation guide," he explained to his alien colleagues. "Just like you wouldn't directly translate idioms between languages, you can't directly translate punishment into entertainment without understanding the cultural context." Araya, whose understanding of both human psychology and alien cultures had grown sophisticated, became an invaluable resource in bridging the gap. The AI developed a comprehensive guide titled Understanding Human Fun, a cross-species manual for entertainment design, which quickly became required reading for any species planning to enter the space tourism industry. The aftermath of the Great Misunderstanding led to something unexpected: a deeper appreciation among alien species for humanity's unique ability to transform negative experiences into positive ones. The Galactic Council even added a new category to their cultural preservation directory: human-inspired adaptive reuse of punitive architecture. As the confusion settled and properly converted entertainment venues began to open across the galaxy, Martinez reflected on the journey that had brought them here. In her personal log, she wrote, "Maybe this misunderstanding was exactly what we needed. It forced us to explain not just what we do, but who we are. A species that finds joy in the unexpected, laughter in the dark, and possibility in every prison." Back aboard Stellar Dreams, now the flagship of a growing fleet of converted entertainment vessels, the original team gathered in the observation dome to watch the stars. Through the transparent panels, they could see ships arriving from across the galaxy, carrying visitors eager to experience the unique blend of excitement and safety that humans had perfected. "You know what the best part is?" Sarah said, watching a group of Arxer youth excitedly entering the gravity coaster chamber. "Every species that tried to copy us ended up creating something unique instead. The Regellians' time-waste entertainment center actually became popular once they stopped trying to make it human-style and embraced their own interpretation of fun. Isn't that the most human thing of all?" Raj replied. "We showed them it was possible to transform punishment into play, and they each found their own way to make it work." Araya's voice joined the conversation, its tone carrying what might have been amusement. "Analysis complete. The Great Misunderstanding has resulted in a 300% increase in cross-species recreational activities and a 500% increase in diplomatic relations conducted on roller coasters." Martinez smiled, watching the endless stream of visitors flowing through her ship's corridors. The universe had tried to understand human fun and gotten it hilariously wrong. But in doing so, they'd all learned something more valuable than how to build a proper thrill ride. They'd learned that every species had its own way of finding joy, and sometimes the best adventures come from misunderstandings.